just an aside. So much, so many such words, passions, empathy was directed in that direction. But Brian Thompson's actual crimes of having a direct connection to mass death and suffering for tens of thousands of Americans on a yearly basis,
well, hang on, you said crimes.
I think it's going under-examined.
Okay, you said crimes. What was what was the crime?
Unfortunately, the United States, our legal system is designed by people people in power who enrich themselves, who don't make denying people's health care that results in mass death.
Yeah, but you called it a crime, though. You called it a crime, but it wasn't a crime. He wasn't a convicted criminal.
So Piers Morgan is going to check Briahna Joy Gray. Okay, he's going to drag her, and he has every right to do so. Okay, because you know what, it's starting to get ridiculous. Okay, like I get it. You know the whole bit about that we have a failed healthcare system. Again, I'm not the person who's going to tell you that we don't, because I've worked in it. I've seen it. It does not mean that people need to get bullets in their backs. If y'all cared so much about this CEO that he was doing the wrong thing, why didn't you put out a petition to get him arrested a long time ago, right? Why didn't y'all never? I never heard this man's name until he died. God rest his soul. And you know what? I send prayers out to his family. This is insane that you have lost your husband, your son, and your son, your brother, your father, whatever. And then now people are going to use his name to bring about this big thing as if this is some huge, wonderful thing that Luigi Mangione did. And this isn't even right or fair. It's just disgusting, but let's get into it.
I would define it colloquially as a crime, and the fact that Luigi allegedly took matters into his own hands is because no political system or legal system in the United States of America has been willing to step up.
Actually, we don't even know that, do we?
The mass murder that's been executed on the part of the American healthcare system.
I would say, look, we don't know really enough about this guy yet. It looks to me like he's a bit of a narcissist.
What do you mean?
I think he was a narcissist. I think that he was clearly unhinged. I'm not sure that he's the great Robin Hood. Hang on.
Which guy? I'm sorry.
Hang on. Luigi, the shooter, right?
Brian Thompson.
The one who shot Brian Thompson, Luigi, right? I'm just not sure that he's this great, heroic guy standing up against the healthcare system. I suspect
I'm not talking about that. This isn't about Luigi, who may or may not, he's been arrested, he's been charged. We may or may not know that he's the actual shooter. I'm talking about the public reaction to Brian Thompson's death.
No, I understand that.
We do know about Brian Thompson.
I understand that.
We know about United Healthcare, and that's the root of the discontent. That's the root of the public outcry. Luigi is just a vessel through which people are expressing their deep frustrations with the American healthcare system. So the question is, if you don't want murders like this to be happening, assassinations to be happening like this in the street, and I'm someone who does not believe in the death penalty and don't condone these kinds of vigilante instances of violence in either case. But if you want to get to the root of why people are so deeply unhappy, you have to, it resonates so deeply with people that this has happened, you have to get to the root of why there is this deep well of tragedy, despair, and outrage in the United States of America. And that has to do with what Brian Thompson has chosen to do with his life.
All right.
But wait. Hold up, and I wish you guys could see my face. This is why I hate doing faceless videos. And I also, and I will be bringing back my beautiful face soon. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you to every eye that lands on this video. She was about to make a very scary statement. If you don't want to see stuff like this, she caught herself and she stopped. If you don't want to see stuff like this, basically, you better do your job or else they're going to start assassinating you in the streets. Yo, man, what's going on, man? Whoa. I didn't go to university. Thank God. I went to trade school and I went to nursing school. And I didn't go for my bachelor's, by the way. So I ended up not getting all this theory and all of this Marxism. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm not saying this all that university kids did, but this is a problem. This is an absolute problem, the way she's talking. But let's just, anyway.
Companies like United Healthcare have chosen to do to the American people.
But just to be clear, before we go to Natalie to respond to that, do you feel any empathy for Brian Thompson and his family?
I have infinite empathy for any individual as a person in their personal capacity. As his role as a CEO of United Healthcare, I'm afraid I'm with the overwhelming majority, bipartisan majority of the American people who say, I'm saving my empathy for people who are much more vulnerable, and have caused a lot.
Right.
Less
So to be
harm in
clear,
the world.
you don't have any.
And see, the problem is that these are the people who like fight for Palestine. Like, you know, then it becomes like, you see these hateful people. It's like, oh, Jesus, man. But this is pretty hateful, what she's saying. This right here is pretty hateful.
Empathy for him after he was executed.
I personally don't.
Right. Okay. Well, at least you're honest. Let me go to Natalie Winters. I mean, I find this staggering. You've got to remember, the left is supposed to be the party that cares so much. All of them have their Be Kind hashtags. They're the caring ones, the kind ones. And they can't even bring it in their hearts to say they find a shred of empathy for a man who's just been executed, who's the father of children, the husband of a loving wife, and so on. I find that just staggering, that you can't, on a human level, have empathy for the murder of someone, but also make your point about the system in which he was an executive. What's your response?
I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And look, what it gets to the core of is the continued dehumanization of people, because in the sort of culturally Marxist paradigm of oppressor versus oppressed, you're allowed to do whatever you want to someone who has allegedly, or in this case, I'm not a supporter of the United States healthcare system or apparatus. Believe me, there's so many problems that need to be fixed and adjusted there. But condoning, which is in effect what these two panelists are doing, the assassination of him by a roundabout way by saying, well, the healthcare system is, you just told me that you had absolutely no empathy and that you think what people are doing by gunning down healthcare executives because of bad decisions.
And by the way, I do not condone vigilante violence in either instance. So don't misrepresent my view. If you can make your case without telling a lie, miss, then you should do it. I have empathy for the 68 million Americans and their families who are killed every single year by the police.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're annoying and you're a stupid little girl. Okay? You don't. You don't. You're smiling. And let's be clear that I've seen this girl's podcast before, and I find her to be annoying because she complains about problems. Imagine you live in a country where you get the chance to complain in camera and get paid beautifully for it. Yes, it's beautifully. It is. Not me. I'm just saying, like, the fact that she's endorsed to even be paid for and to come on Piers Morgan just to be this kind of person. What other country are you doing? You're definitely not doing that in Haiti or Jamaica, wherever she's probably from. She gives me a little Caribbean kind of look to her. I don't know. She might be Haitian. No, that's not a Haitian last name. Anyway, or Trinidad. Anyway, and you just complain. You don't care about the 68 million people who are dying. No, you don't, because you're using this and you're using them now to shield your joy over a rich white man getting shot in the back, bro. And I'm the broad who would be in her face and be like, dog, like, are we gonna talk or are we not? Like, for real. Like, you know, like, do I need, let me just go ahead into my chameleon phase and talk to you the way you need to be talked to. Like, what's up? Don't tell me about the sick people. That's your human shield. Okay? You're happy this guy got snuffed in the back. Oh well, these rich white boys, they gonna find out today that they can't do this, that they need to do their job. Oh well, he's sitting there all rich. He thought he could just do X, Y, Z. I'm sorry, guys. I just know the kind of conversation that goes on behind the scenes.
And the American
healthcare system with
Okay, look, listen, Briahna, I'll let you speak, Briahna.
If you think Luigi...
Let Natalie have her say, and then I'll let people respond.
By the way, if you think Luigi Mangione is someone who you maybe have empathy or sympathy for, this is someone who had a very privileged upbringing, background, very wealthy family. The CEO of United Healthcare is someone who came from a working class family, went to state schools, didn't go to the University of Pennsylvania. Like I said, I'm not defending the healthcare system writ large, but to say that you don't have empathy because you view him as an oppressor of the American people is a perversion, not just of the system of law and justice in this country, but that's extreme. You just said you don't have empathy for a man who was murdered in cold blood on the streets of New York. So what do you have for him?
You are
Sympathy?
obsessed with this oppressed language. It seems to be a bit of a kink.
You are so much so that you just said you don't have empathy for a murder victim.
I said, let me be clear. I said, as a person, interpersonally, of course, he has a family, and those people are feeling grief. And those people, as far as I know, are innocent in all of this.
As far as I know, innocent in all of what? Why is it as far as I know innocent? Listen, okay.
The question is, here's the real question. Why are we asking random pundits, who might personally have been victimized, by the way, by someone like Brian Thompson, why they would have empathy for him and their family, while there's no question being asked about who has empathy for the tens of thousands of Americans who are killed every year by the policies that Brian Thompson has made millions and millions,
All right, Clay,
tens of millions of dollars off of.
With Brian Thompson, it should not have been murdered, okay? For something that somebody else is just going to go and do the same thing too, okay? Like, this is just a cop-out. I don't have health insurance, and I still wish that this never happened to Brian Thompson. I have empathy for him. He's dead, I can't pray for him anymore because he's dead, right? That breaks my heart. That somebody could be walking down the street. First of all, obviously for anybody, but we're talking about this case. No, this happens all the time. Okay, but this is what this case is about now. We're talking about today. That somebody could be walking down the street and this other person just goes and kills them. While they were walking, and might have even thought like, okay, when I get home, we're going to make sure we put the kids down. We're going to make Christmas cookies with the kids. They can't wait for me to get in the house. It's been a long week. We're going to go ahead. They got, we already got the fresh and bakes, the pop out ready type of cookies because nobody has time to be mixing eggs and baking soda and everything else. And hey, maybe then we're gonna put up the Christmas ornaments because the tree is almost fully decorated, and we can have that moment, and we have some hot chocolate, and we'll watch Home Alone. The kids are gonna be happy because after this I have to go travel, and I don't want to, but finally, I can give them some time. And then they don't know anything else because somebody decided to put a bullet in them and end their life. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't fall for that. I'm not with all that. I'm there's nothing in me that could be this much of a so-called activist. People are disgusting and need to get your heads checked. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.